Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sierra, and today I want to show you how to make one of these little shaker things. I'm going to zoom in. Let me get some cardstock so we can see what we're looking at. And I will show you this right here. This was my first one. Okay. And that's my second one. That was my third one. I really like how these turned out. And I'm going to show you how to do this. So if you're interested, stick around and I will walk you through this. If you follow how I show you, you'll be able to come up with something just like that. Okay, it just takes a little bit of practice. And by a little bit of practice, I'm going to move these out of the way. And by a little bit of practice, these are my attempts. I had a couple more that were the heart shape. I couldn't even get a heart shape. I have watched some videos, and we all see the videos where they paint the resin in the mold and it comes out perfect. And well, there's another step to it that I do to actually get a good cabochon or a good filling. Like these are all uneven. This one I possibly could use, but I've come up with a really good way of getting a really good heart. I'll show you, like this one here. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to make that. In order to make this, we are going to need a few things. You're going to need, that I found that works, some high viscosity UV resin and your choice of a regular UV resin. You'll need that. You can try it with the regular viscosity UV resin. I find that it's much harder to work with. You're going to need a mold of your choice. This is, I'll show you, one of these molds. It's a cheaper version of this. This is a really good quality one. The one that I had cut up, I had gotten on clearance from Hobby Lobby. Not clearance, I'm sorry. When they have the 50% off thing on their molds and stuff, I picked up one of those and I just cut it up. I found it easier to actually do what I want to do without it being part of the bigger mold. Okay, so you're going to need your mold. You're going to need I prefer the high viscosity and the regular viscosity UV resin. You can try with the regular UV resin. You're going to need a UV torch. You're going to need one of these. You're going to need a UV light. I'm using the double-sided UV lamp. Some silicone cups for your resin. You're going to need some sandpaper for later on, and I am using a wet dry 320 grit. When I sand, I like to use wet sandpaper. For sanding resin, I don't like the resin to float around through the air. Some paper towel. I have a couple baby wipes with some isopropyl alcohol on it. For the tools, and because I also like to protect my eyes when using UV lights. I have an air purifier going. You want to protect your eyes. You want to protect your lungs. For the tools, a dotting tool. I use two. This is the one that I'm going to use. I'm going to use the silicone tip part. So you're going to need that. Dotting tool. This is for later on. You could use one of these. It's just a round little file, and that is I'll show you later what that's for. I'm going to be using my Dremel with the little attachment to it. It's the same thing, except mine is motorized. I was trying to think of everything that you would need. You're going to need a pair of tweezers. I like to use for this the reverse tweezers, so once I have it closed, I don't have to, there's no stress on my hand keeping the tweezers closed. I like to use a fan brush to dust off any of the sanded stuff. A paintbrush, I like using one of these paintbrushes. I also have a little cup here, and I put 99% isopropyl alcohol in there, and that is what I clean my brush off. This will come later. I'll show you how to do that. For the tools, toothpick, possibly. I'm going to be using my needle nose pliers. I have my flush cutters. I have my, what do you call these? The round, I forgot what they're called, but they're to make the loops. And some, what are these? Chain nose pliers. And so we're going to need those. I'll put these off to the side for right now. So I'm not going to need those right now. And put the paint brushes aside for right now. I'm going to be using one of these cords to finish it off. For my fillers, let me get this thing out of here. You're also going to need a head pin. A head pin is, it's got looks like a nail. I'm trying to show you. Looks like a nail, but it's jewelry head pin. If you don't want to use a head pin, you can always use one of these little eye screws, but I'm going to use a head pin. So I'll put this aside for now. And for my fillers, I just have some clay flowers and just some sparkly stuff in there. And so we're going to put that to the side. That comes later. This comes later. Okay, let me put the sandpaper aside. That comes later. What you're going to need in the beginning is your mold, your tweezers. This is what you're going to need right here. Okay. And I'm going to take some high viscosity UV resin, and we'll put some in there. You don't need a lot. I also have my plastic platform that goes in my UV light. I have that taken out. And we're going to get started. I'm going to try to walk you through this. These turn out so pretty. So basically, what you're going to do, I'll bring you in for this part. Depending on the type of mold you're using, you want to bring the resin up to the very edge. So that's what we're going to do here. And I'm just going to basically take my UV resin and my dotting tool, and I'm using the high viscosity, and we're going to paint the UV resin on the edge, the very edge of the mold. Okay. And we're going to do half, and then we're going to set it with our UV light. Because I'm using doing a heart mold, I want the shape of the heart. I don't want it broken. I want the whole heart intact. So I'm taking the UV resin and I'm going along the very edge, inside edge of the mold, and I'm going to lock that in place. I don't want the UV resin to be moving around. Don't have to do it long. Okay, and we're going to come around this side. Get our UV resin out. We're going to paint it on the inside edge. Like so. We're going to lock it in so it doesn't move, just real quick. And then I'm going to put it in my UV light, the big lamp, for about 30 seconds. And I will be back at the end of 30 seconds. Okay. And I set my little cup on top of my light when I turn it on. I do have my little protective glasses on. And now we're going to do the same thing. Okay. This time I'm not going to be too worried about using this. I'm just going to take the high viscosity UV resin and I'm just going to put another coat of the resin around the inside top lip of the mold. I'm going to go around. It's going to feel bumpy and all that. That's no problem. And then after I get this second coat all the way around, I'm going to put it back in my light for about 45 seconds. And then we'll go on to the next step. But you really want to, if you're doing the heart, you really want to make sure you get the peak of the heart. The very, where the heart makes the heart shape. You want to really get lay some resin down in there. And then you're going to put it in the light for about 45 seconds. Now you should have something that looks, you can't really see it, but I have resin all along the inside edge of this mold all the way around. I have 2 coats. I'm going to take my reverse tweezers and I'm going to hold on to the mold like that. I'm going to get my high viscosity resin and I'm going to put a dollop in there. And this is where practice comes in. I can't tell you how much to use, but basically, get in frame. Basically, you want to make sure you have enough UV resin to cover the inside of the mold. And I'm going to bring it all the way down. And I'm going to bring it all the way around. And if I find the UV resin separating from itself inside the mold, I'll add more. You don't want to add too much because you want to be able to, see, I can already tell that that's going to need more. See how it's not coating? So I'm going to add a little bit more just to make life just a little bit easier. Not a lot. So we're going to just do this. This is probably the longest part of the whole thing. And I'll add more resin if I feel it needs it. Yeah, I'm going to need a little bit more. That should be enough. Okay, so now I'm going to bring it to the very top part of the heart, and I'm going to bring that resin down into that heart shape. Now we're going to roll it around to the other side. Hope you can see where that resin's going. I'm trying to keep it in frame. Let me get some black card. I don't know if that made it any better. But you see, And if you see any bubbles or anything like that, you can hit it with your lighter. So I'm just going to go around and I'm going to coat it again. I'm going to move this. I'm going to coat it again. And then you're going to see it pooling in there a little bit. And I'm going to bring it down into the middle of the heart. And now what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start rotating it. Okay? And I'm going to put it in the light. And I'm going to rotate it like this in the light for about 10 seconds. And then I'm going to let it cure for a minute. So I'm going to rotate it. Keep rotating. Turn on the light. Rotate, rotate. 15 seconds. I'm rotating it while I have it in the light. For about 15 seconds, and I'll set it down, and now I'm going to let it cure for about a minute, and I'll be right back. Okay, it's been about a minute. I'm going to get our high viscosity UV resin back and our tool, and we're going to coat the inside edge of the mold again. This is our third time going in with this UV resin along the edge. I'm going to cure it for about 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Okay, we get our resin out again. We're going to put another dollop in the middle. And we're going to do this. Looks like I made just a little bit more. And we're going to coat the inside of the mold a second time. Turn the light, twirl it for 15 seconds in the light, and then I'm going to let this cure for 2 minutes. So I'm twirling it, and then 15 seconds. You want to keep it moving. Keep it moving for about 15 seconds. And then set it down and let it cure. When the light goes off, it's ready. Okay, and I will be back once it's done curing. Okay, let's see how we did. We did really, I'm not even holding it. We did really good. Okay, see that? Really good. Okay, I'm gonna move this to the side for now. So I got my sandpaper. I'm gonna bring you guys out just a little bit. Yeah. Got the sandpaper. I'm gonna take off my protective glasses. And we're gonna wet the sandpaper. We'll take our little form here. You can use a emery board. And we're gonna sand in circular motions. I probably mute it down because it doesn't sound good. But you're gonna sand in circular motions. Not like this. Rock it back and forth. I mean circular. And just a little bit. You don't want to sand it down to nothing. And we're going to check it. Needs a little bit more. That looks good. I don't feel any jagged pieces. And now I'm going to take this and wash it in warm soapy water. I use baby shampoo. So I'll be back and we'll go on to the next step. Well, I jumped a step. what I need to do, or what we need to do, is we need to put a little divot in the very top of the heart, or wherever you want it. So let me turn this on. I'm just gonna, hopefully I'm in frame. I'm just gonna set that on there. Doesn't need a lot. Okay, let's see if I can brush that away with my little brush. I should be able to. I shouldn't have to wash it again. I just don't want no dust on it. Oh, that's good. I keep holding it up and looking. Okay, so that's good. We're moving right along. So now I have some poster putty. This is the Duck brand poster putty. I just use the same piece over and over. And I'm going to set my little piece there, like so. And we're going to get, oh no, yeah. We're going to get our head pin. And we're going to get some UV resin. Again, I am using the high viscosity. And I'm going to place some in that little divot that I made. Not a lot. And I'm going to set that head pin in there. And I'm going to cure it like this. Fully cure this for 2 minutes. Okay, that 2 minutes is up, and I already had another piece made. Now we're going to get our filling, and we're gonna put it in there. And I am filling this up. And then I'm going to take this tool, because I don't have any resin on it. We'll make sure all my little good pretty stuff is not touching the edge of the heart at all. Anything, I want to try and get it as much into a pile as I can get it. I just keep wiping off my tool. Now we're going to get the high viscosity resin out. You want to make sure that before you put your head pin in, you want to make sure that your other piece, that you're going to put on top, actually fits where there's no gaps. So then you're going to take your high viscosity resin. You want to have this handy. You want to have your top handy. And all we're going to do is we're going to put a very thin coat of UV resin. I don't want it dripping down the sides of the heart or anything like that. I don't want it going on the inside at all. So I'm just a very, very thin coat. And we'll bulk it up after this. Basically, I just want to get it to where it stays on without moving. If it's going to drip, I want it to drip on the outside of it. I don't want it coming on the inside. Okay, that should be good for right now. Like I said, this is just to get it to go in place. Now, this part is important. We're going to take this and set it on top of here, and we want it lined up just right. We're going to get our little light ready. I hope it's on there right. I think so. I'm also going to put this back in there, my light, because I need this in there now. Now, without trying to shake up the inner side, your pretty stuff in there, set it in your lamp and let that cure for about a minute. Okay. Again, I'm trying not to shake this up. I'm going to get my high viscosity. I want to get a little bit more in there. Now we're going to get our brush out. And we're going to put our brush in, the resin, and we're just going to start painting that on like so. Try to be smooth with the brush. And I'm going to set it in there for about a minute. And I'm going to take my brush off and I'm going to stick it in the isopropyl alcohol. Give it a nice swish. And then dry it off on the baby wipe. Now we're going to get our brush and our resin out some more. And we're going to do another coat along that seam. I'm just smoothing it out, putting my resin up. I'll put this in for another 2 minutes. I'm going to clean my brush and the isopropyl alcohol, and I'll be right back. Okay, now we're going to get some regular UV resin. We're going to put it in like that. Hopefully this is sealed up enough. We're going to pop it off. I hope I don't have any of that, my stuff stuck. Nope, it's not. Okay. We can dispense of this right now. Gonna get our brush. I have my gloves off for a reason because I can't twirl with my gloves on. It gets stuck. So now this step, I'm just gonna take the regular UV resin and I'm gonna paint it on like so. You don't want it dripping or anything like that. Easy. We're gonna do one side at a time. I'm trying to keep it. I hurt my finger. And we want to get up in here and the sides. So we want to make sure it's sealed. And I only do one side at a time. And I'm going to get my brush out of the way and I'm going to spin this and I'm going to cure it for 2 minutes. I'm going to be spinning for the first minute. Usually you would want to wear gloves when you're by this light to protect your hands, but I normally do. Actually, we're going to do for 1 minute because we still have to do the other side. So I'll be back after 1 minute. Okay. I'll get my brush out and we're going to do the other side the same way. I'm going to move my brush to the side again because I don't want it getting ruined. And now we're going to twirl it. We're going to put it in the light and we're going to do that for 2 minutes. And I'll be back. Okay, now if you got this far with it, you could leave it like this and then just finish it off how I'm going to show you. But I'm going to take it just a couple steps further and I'm going to sand it. So I want it to be really smooth. So I'm just going to take my sandpaper and just go over it lightly and just sand it down. And I will be back as soon as I'm done sanding this. I'm going to take some baby wipe, a baby wipe with some 91% isopropyl alcohol. And I'm going to clean it off. We have one more step. We're almost there. Now I did not do this. I did not do the sanding part. The next step I did not do when I did this one. This is how this looks. I did 2 coats on both sides, painting the resin on, and that's what you get with that. So you can stop there. But this is how I want it to look, like this. It's nice and smooth and it feels good. So I was just sanding off the high points on there and cleaning it. We have this, and I have some UV resin, and I just poured some in here. I should have my gloves on, but I don't. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to dip it in here like so. I'm going to get the whole thing coated. I'm going to lift it up. Got to make some room. So I want to get this out of the way after it drips off because I don't want the light hitting it. We're just going to let the resin finish dripping off. And once it slows down, then we're going to start twirling. It doesn't take long. And all I did was I bought a bundle pack of resin. I know if you get the Bond Crafter UV resin, you get like 3 bottles, 3 like this. And then you can take one and dump it in this container. And this container will keep it from the light from hitting it. I'll see if I could have it linked. So I'm gonna start twirling it. It's kind of hard. I don't have it. I just want to get it like that. So I can still see some. I want to go sideways with it. There we go. So I want it smooth. So if I had my index finger, I would be able to twirl it with my index finger, but my index finger's sore. Let's see, I'll use my left hand. All right, I'm going to move this out of the way, move this out of the way, move this out of the way. I'm going to turn the light on and I'm going to twirl it for about 15 seconds. And then I'm going to cure it for 2 minutes and I'll be right back. Okay, that is done there. I don't like to touch it at this stage because sometimes the UV resin, in my opinion, can be kind of sticky or tacky. So what I have is I have my light on its side. I have some tap water. I'm going to set it in front of my light. I do have my glasses on. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to stick it in the water. I'm going to turn my light on and I'm going to cure it in the water for 2 minutes. And then I will be back. Hold on, let me pull it in here like this so you can see what I'm doing. I just have it stuck in the water like so, in there. And I will come back after 2 minutes. Okay, I'm going to dry it off. It's not sticky at all. It's not tacky. It feels nice. My Band-Aid wasn't in there. Isn't that pretty? Let's see. Isn't that pretty? Okay, let's finish it off. All right, I am going to take these pliers and I'm going to place it right above the heart. I don't want to touch the heart with it. And I'm going to bend it back like so. Looks like that. Let me get it just a little bit more bent. Like that. Okay. And now I'm going to take my round nose pliers, that's what they're called, and I'm going to bring it over like so, like that. Now I'm going to rotate the pliers up and bring this wire behind it and lift up like so. And then I'm going to take these and I'm going to do a little wrap. You can make this as messy or as neat as you like. But I'm going to make a little wrap with the wire. Like so. I'm going to straighten that hole out a little bit. I'm going to take these and I'm going to cut it. And I'm going to push that wire in where I cut it. And then, hopefully I made the hole big enough. If not, I'm going to have to turn it a little bit. Turn it that way. Let me get a jump ring. Gonna open up the jump ring. Put it through. Close it. And then stick this through. Guess I could have used a bigger jump ring. But there it is. Okay, a little dust on there. There it is. Isn't that cute? And I walked you through the whole process of how to do that. So I hope you like it. Let me know what you think. Isn't that cute? I hope you like this. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments. And until next time, you guys have a great day and God bless. Bye.